weren't even half a mile away and they could see their homes being burnt. And it's so hard to fathom that in this century, you know, to have your people being removed from where they lived all their lives, their livelihood, their total independence being pulled out from under them. This whole place called the National Park was once our Walmart. It provided everything for the people, our shelter, our food, our clothing, and plus our spiritual ceremonial practices. So everything was right here that we needed. And I guess when the visitors saw the pristine area, how beautiful it looked, they wanted to keep it that way. And I'm glad they did. I think that was one good thing that did happen, was a park was created. The unfortunate thing was the original inhabitants were kicked out of the area.
You know, how I became or learned about it was I went there with my dad one time. And it was way back in the late 70s. And he's the one who told me that, you know, this is where we used to live. But when I went with him, we went to the cemetery there. And it was almost like he was sneaking into the area. You can tell that he didn't feel comfortable.
26 years I went inside that park, sneaked in there, and I got caught 3 times. See, nobody goes in there now. Everybody, all the hunters that used to sneak in the park, they're all gone. I'm the only one left that trapped in there. I shouldn't say anything. They might come and pick me up. I got caught 3 times in the park.
Reconciliation has to be a true reconciliation. If I hurt you today in any way and I apologize to you, do I just walk away and leave you, or do I make amends? I should try and make amends. Depending on the level of hurt that I presented to you, I should try and make amends. The level of hurt that was presented to our people is a totally extinguishment of their life that they had at that time, and a loss of their lands, and a loss of the lake that they used so freely. Can you imagine being told, you have to stay home now, you can't even shop in town? That's how our people felt at that time. Those stories need to be told. Those feelings need to be shared, so that the understanding is there.
Reconciliation has got many potentially different meanings. To an accountant, reconciliation means balancing the financial sheet. To a lawyer, reconciliation is when a couple get back together to prevent a divorce. To reconciliation between nations means the establishment of a peace accord. So when it comes to the Anishinaabe people of this area and the people who manage this park, that relationship is going to be in a constant state of flux. And so if you take a snapshot of it at any particular point in time, you may see that at that particular point it tends to look like it's favoring one side or the other. The issue is, how balanced is it over the long term?
In my past, we always had a fight with the white people, because they want to run everything. And now, Indians got education now. They can argue with people now. So I think we should get along, maybe better coming years.
10 years ago, I would never want to be in the same room with Canada people. That was 10 years ago, but today I feel different. I had a lot of resentment on working with, or trying to work with people that, you know, forcibly removed my family or my grandparents out from their homes. Well, first of all was we had to deal with the land claim. And then now what are we going to do? We're not going anywhere and you're not going to go anywhere, so how do we get along?
I guess I felt very hostile towards Riding Mountain National Park because they didn't understand what the medicines meant to us. The medicines out there were given to us to use, to survive, and for that to be taken away from us made me very angry. I didn't let that stop me. Even though we were not allowed to go in there at one time, we still went. When we got our land claim settled and we were, I guess, given the freedom to be able to go back on our land, it was a relief. To me, that's healing. That's reconciliation. By saying, in words, I'm sorry we took away all of this from you, but it will no longer happen.
Like I said, there has been a lot of change since I've been here. The more Aboriginal, the jobs that are being in place, it's just more Aboriginal support and the culture being brought out more openly now rather than being hidden. A lot of comments were made that I'm only here because I was Aboriginal and not because of what I knew or what my education was. Yes, I am Aboriginal and I was hired off an Aboriginal list, but I've come and I've worked just like everybody else. It's up to us to teach our children the proper ways. Okay, we need to stop the racism. We are one people, and if we work together as one, maybe we'd be a lot more happier. And you won't have the, oh, well, you're white and I'm Native. I even get comments from our own, with our own people. Our own people, like they harass you because you're in a park's uniform. They're like, you're just trying to be white. That's the comment that the Aboriginal people will give you. It could be from all the hurtful things that they've gone through in the past with the white man, you know, all the hurt from the residential schools, us being removed from our land because of national parks. The white man has pretty much booted us off everywhere and took over the land. And so the Aboriginal people are very cut deep with that.
That's what they should be talking about. And talking about, yes, the inhabitants of the original peoples that were here are still here. And they're located along the sides of the park. But that truth should be told to how they were taken off the land. It gives you more respect, I think. It gives both parties more respect, because the visitors that came here just didn't say, oh, wow, look at this great land. I'm glad no one's here. We were here.
When we're working with Aboriginal people and incorporating culture, it's saying that it's okay. Because in the past they were told that their culture is not okay, their language is not okay. So when we're starting on that basis, where we're working to incorporate their culture into what we know, it's a builder.
We were put in residential schools, and there was a lot of fear instilled about, they tell us our ways, like somebody doing a pipe ceremony or lodges like that. We were working for the devil, that we were going to burn in hell if we practiced that.
That's where the appreciation and for the richness of Anishinaabe culture comes in, is that people are seeing and hearing that, and it becomes less of a two-dimensional thing because they've experienced it. And I think it opens their hearts and minds to really getting to know the Anishinaabe in a way that they probably never could have. When we're working with Indigenous people and Anishinaabe people here, language is very important for them too. What would it mean, let's say, to an Anishinaabe person driving into the park? What would it mean to them to drive in and see the name Riding Mountain National Park and then right next to it the Anishinaabe name? What would it tell them?
Well, I think, then if national parks were able to do that, then that would ease up a bit, then that very myth about the founding nations. French and English is the founding nations. French people have more, than recognized in terms of a nation, than North America than First Nations. English defeated them, right? I mean, the French people are going to kill me for saying that. But those are the kind of things I think we need to correct, Mm-hmm. And we can do that together, I think, with parks and with us, putting the history together. But I like the idea of, at the entrance of the Riding Mountain National Park, to say, well, this is the English name, this is the French name, and this is the First Nations.
On Pennsylvania Avenue, in this bright moment of hope, of large historical inequities writing themselves this moment when old and new, black and white, stretch across the Grand Canyons of old wounds to touch wingtips, fingertips. The story cannot be told all at once. There are many new dance steps to be learned.